Hello and welcome to Topic Talk. I'm Jess, a survivor of chronic illness and your host. This Topic Talk is about foreign environments and places you haven't been to post-trauma. This is Marcus, a visually creative, nature-loving father, husband and lecturer. He's an Australian-born stroke survivor living in Kochi, Japan, and a supporting member of our Genius community. Marcus, hello.
Good morning.
Good
Yes.
morning. In 2 to
Good
3
to see
minutes.
you again.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
In 2 to 3 minutes, Max, can you tell us what has been the most challenging aspect for you living in a foreign country with aphasia, and what's helped you overcome some of those challenges?
Well, I think first just stated that it was an absolute nightmare to be in Japan because I had I had a heart attack. And then during the operation, I had a heart attack. During the operation, I realized when they were doing the operation that I'm thinking, oh, I'm probably gonna have a stroke. And then I have the stroke. And then a year later, I have the cardiac arrest. So I had all these problems with so in hospitals and such, but I couldn't talk to anybody. And I'd lost my wife. Uses probably at that time 80%, 90%. We always talked in Japanese, and then suddenly I couldn't talk to my wife, and I couldn't talk to the nurse, and I couldn't to the doctors. No one had understood what to do. I had my son, my oldest son. He was junior high school, but his English is pretty good. And then I had a couple of friends who helped me, and that has been really hard for me. Is at the beginning is how do I just connect to people and to deal with things. I'm lucky that I have friends who did help me through my rehab, but to go through to work to like rehab, I've never had rehab. The rehab has been me and my friends. That's it. I've never had anybody. So because I was a teacher, I decided, okay, in Japan, no one's going to help me because it's all in Japanese. So I have to work out how to do this. So put on my thinking cap and think, okay, I know how to teach and I know how to organize things. I know about stroke and the problems of the brain. And so basically, that's how I said it. I couldn't say everything, but my friend understood. We worked through this. So that's my rehab. But with other outside of problems, I sort of stay away from a lot of people. Because I don't like putting me in the situations that I can't deal with. That's something. Before I used to go out and talk to people and talk Japanese or English, but now it's dropped down because I've lost a lot of my Japanese skills. My English is much, much better. So, part of that question is to overcome. I really haven't overcome. I've just been able to find a way to get through it, to all these problems. So I don't see as many people as I used to do. I just sort of look exactly what I need to do for work. And then when that's done, boom. I've talked before that I like photography and I go out and then I feel comfortable. It's just me and the forests. So that's fantastic for me.
Beautiful. Well, that is a way of overcoming the challenge within you. You adapted in some way to connect with yourself if you're unable to connect with certain others because of the language difficulty. But
there are so many people. What I think is one of the problem in Australia is that there are people who are second language learners, or they live their fathers and mothers and such, who come from another country and their second language. And some people are going to have a stroke. And then there's going to be a problem when, how do we deal with these people? Do we talk them into their native language, or do we go into the second language? And I can tell you that is really hard, because if they were talking to me only in Japanese, my brain was totally out of control, because it was just too much for the brain to have too much sound. And plus, I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? Am I going to just learn both, and it's going to take me a long time? Or I'll just take English, and if I can do this, I might be able to get back to work. And so I just did that.
So is Japanese something that you are considering going down the path of again, or is that just too much?
There's a part of me I do. There are sometimes suddenly a bit of Japanese comes on, and I try to do it in my class. So the students think, "Oh, Sensei, you." Oh, sorry, I'm speaking Japanese. They say to me, "Oh, you're doing really well," and then, but suddenly my brain would just totally stop, and it's the most simple words. And so I try to myself, look, I'm not good enough to do this. Don't embarrass yourself.
I would say that giving it a go, and the fact that your students even recognize that, the incredible challenge.
Well, they don't know this. They don't know all this. Before my students, I told all my students the first years, but now I don't really tell them that much. A couple of students, I might explain things to them. But, I am teaching students about English and reading and writing, and that's my problem. Reading, writing, spelling, grammar. I've had to rewrite everything at the same time as the students that I had, and some of the very high level of the students. So, I had to a lot of stress to do this. So I've always said to them, look, okay, this is an English class, so I'm going to only use English. I'm not going to use any of my Japanese. But really, I'm sort of trying to say, well, I can't say it. I will make a mistake. So.
Well, that is honestly incredible. It clearly would have taken a lot of work, and I'd love to talk to you about.
It still is.
Yeah,
it still is.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Marcus.
No problem.
Now, Marcus and I would love to hear from you. What has been the most challenging aspect for you when traveling or visiting foreign places, new places, post-trauma, and how have you overcome those challenges?